Baylor and TCU are both being accused of cheating by stealing Texas Tech's radio signals. Whether they did or they didn't, there's one person supremely at fault here. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. On today's program, did the Big 12 just drop the ball on this entire cheating scandal? And then at the end, I'll give you my picks for who's going to win the games this weekend. If you hit subscribe, I get to keep my job. Here's the skinny. Max Olson of ESPN had the original reporting on a lot of this, that this message board comment that, Baylor and TCU had somehow hacked into the radio signal of Texas Tech, and that's why the Red Raiders lost. Guess what? That message board drama was kind of true. At least we know that Baylor and TCU had knowledge. As of September 28th, a man told individuals at both universities, hey, guess what? Did you know the Big 12 doesn't encrypt its radio signals? Therefore, if you just kind of take this little radio or walkie-talkie or thing here and boop, 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 dial it here, oh, yeah, that's their live radio signals they're giving to the quarterback every play. Uh-oh. Here's the first thing I want to tackle with this. We don't know if Baylor and TCU actually used these, but here's the evidence they didn't. The first thing they did is called the Big 12 and said, hey, there was a dude, this is so random, there was a dude in North Texas at the Arkansas-Texas A&M game who found a way to hack frequencies, and he called, because we're buddies with him for some reason, both Baylor and TCU and told us about it. Big 12, do with this what you will. From there, apparently, in like early October, the Big 12 was like, we'll send out kind of like a quasi-memo thing to some people at different universities. This could be a thing that's happening. We don't even know. And then on Tuesday, Kirby Hocutt, the athletic director of Texas Tech, was like, hey, our weekly meeting, anybody else know that the last few weeks Baylor and TCU have had knowledge that they could hack into any of our radio frequencies and listen to this? I mean, we don't know if they're doing it, but they know about this. And it's like, from everything I've gathered, half the room looks around and is like, yeah, we knew about this. We knew that this could be a thing. We've been working kind of prevent it. And the other half, the athletic directors are going, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? This whole time, our opponents had this knowledge that they could listen into our radio signals throughout the game. And there's some armchair quarterback, there's some couch quarterback who's like, man, I'm telling you what, it'd be impossible to even decipher all that. There's no way if they had that radio signal, it'd give you any advantage. There was a report that I saw through an article that Max Olson posted on ESPN where some Big 12 official had said, yeah, well, even if they did have radio, it doesn't compromise the integrity of the game because it'd be impossible to decipher the lingo. No! One of the first things I did was call a coach. It's like, okay, that's what I wonder. If I had the radio signal, 2X, Tango, Y, 8 ball. Like, what does that mean? I might think that, but the first thing this dude tells me, it's like, hey, Skip, if you had the radio signal of the opposing team, how long would it take you to decipher? It's like, 3 plays. Why is that the case? His response is what most coaches would say. I began as an offensive analyst where my job, a little bit, was to look across the sideline and see who's the indicator. Which of these guys waving their arms? If they wave one arm, if they wave 2 arms, usually the first guy to wave and the first guy to stop waving is the guy. They're not all. This was the direct quote from him. He's like, hey, reading signals is kind of easy because when they have decoys out there, the decoys are usually behind. They're not like, all right, boys, 1, 2, 3, and they all start waving. No, that one dude calls in the play. The other guys look a little bit like idiots, and I read it, and then I figured out, okay, 1 hand means pass, 2 hands means this. He goes, radio signal? Give me 3 plays of deciphering. Oh, that's what that meant for that guy, and I've got it. Now, the reason I'm not sure that Baylor and TCU, we don't know what Baylor and TCU did with this. And if they did cheat, at this point, it's not on them. It's not on them. Welcome to college football, where the other wild aspect of this is like betting sites for some reason had access to this audio. What? We live in a multi-billion-dollar era of college football where if you go, hey, coach, you can listen to that guy's radio signal. Coach goes, oh, that's not great. I'm going to tell the Big 12. The Big 12 goes, okay, cool. I guess we'll fix it or whatever. Then I'm going to start using their radio signal. And I shouldn't feel bad about it. This is a complete and utter disaster from the top level of the conference. Here's what Chris Level of Locked On Texas Tech had to say about it.
But how dumb is it? How dumb is it for the NCAA, for the Big 12, or whatever is going on here, for somebody to not have encrypted these comms? How stupid are you? And if you tried to save a few bucks, you owe a lot of people an apology, and somebody ought to lose their job over it. Somebody ought to be reassigned or removed because there are billions and millions of dollars at stake. And if anything were to be compromised or jeopardized or whatever, I mean, that is, because we're talking gambling now. We're talking, come on.
Yeah, really landed the plane there well. What idiot. It's like, oh, shoot. Our stuff can be pretty easily hacked. Some idiot with a walkie-talkie could just boop, boop, and then hear Spider Y Banana and know exactly what the other team's going to do. And then they didn't do anything about it. It took the athletic director at Texas Tech going, hey, you guys know that Baylor and TCU just could have had access to our radio, right? The Big 12's like, yeah, we knew that, actually. A lot of us knew that. We'll fix it now. In October, in late October. Oh, come on, guys. Yeah, send us all your comms equipment. We're going to put that encryption in. That you could have done from day one. That the NFL does. You can't hack into the Buffalo Bills radio signal. Why? Because it's very obvious people are going to try to do that. So they have stuff put in order, put in place in these encryptors that are above my pay grade to make sure this doesn't become a thing. Did BYU know about this? Did UCF know about this? Did Iowa State know about this? Who knows? Because there's this murmur that the Big 12 told some staffers, but this was the first a lot of the head coaches and athletic directors were hearing that. Why, at the Big 12 level, did you not go, oh, we could fix what is about to become or could become a very glaring issue? Why did you not realize that and then fix the issue? Why did it take this? Baylor and TCU could have used it. The Big 12 did a 48-hour investigation and found no wrongdoing. And you know what? Because they reported this, because that was part of this, is that they had gone to the Big 12 with it. I don't believe either of those universities that we can come down on them. Should the investigation have lasted more than 48 hours? Maybe. But the big part of that is that the Big 12 completely dropped the ball. Completely dropped the ball. This is this is the Big 12 saying, if they did cheat, that's kind of on us. Oops. That is a disaster. Chris Level's right. Someone created a disaster at the Big 12. You can't have that. My picks for this week in college football in our conference: UCF will beat Arizona. This is based a lot on the computer. Kansas State will beat Houston. Shocking, I know. UCF and Arizona are both on a bad track right now. I'm going to go with UCF. Iowa State hammers Texas Tech. I've got a minus 13. These are from yesterday's best bets, by the way. So you already heard me pick Baylor beating TCU at home and Arizona State going on the road to beat Oklahoma State. Let's go 5-0 this week. I like the favorites. In every Big 12 game, and I'm okay with that. The computer does too. There are a couple tight games in there, but I'm still going with the favorites. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel, by the way. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. You can go visit FanDuel today. And why would you visit FanDuel? That is to bet $5 on a game, and if you win, you get $150 in free play. That's right. First time users, $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel.com is where you go to join today, and if you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can live bet on a game. Check out the latest stats view, live play-by-play on that game at the same place you place your bets. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Did Baylor and TCU cheat? I don't know. And if they did, it's not on them. The Big 12 handed them a resource. Handed you a resource. I can't imagine a coach will be like, well, the integrity of the game, we're not going to use this. Not how it usually works. And you certainly have a competitive advantage if you have those signals. And you know what? Use it. The Big 12 just told you, we could fix that. We're just not going to. That's stupid. Coming up, we'll react to all of the games on Saturday via Sunday's reaction show. And Locked On, thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.